The regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chamber on Thursday, June 25th, 2015 at 7:00 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on June 18th, 2015 at 3:54 p.m. This meeting is taped and is live on SATV. Absent for the moment were Councilor McCarthy, Council President Sargent presided. Councilor O'Keefe moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. President Sargent requested that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor Legault.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. We have two people that signed up. Gary Kinley, please.
Good evening. I'm Gary Kinley. I'm 46 Chestnut Street. I'm president of the Chestnut Street Associates, and I'm pleased to be here tonight to introduce you to the McIntyre District Neighborhood Coalition. The coalition is composed of 4 neighborhood associations. They are the Federal Street Neighborhood Association, the Historic Essex Street Neighborhood Association, the Greater Endicott Neighborhood Association, and of course, Chestnut Street Associates. The purpose of the group is fourfold. We have come together to look at our common priorities and to share them. And we hope to come back to you, to the mayor, and city staff and share those priorities and work cooperatively with you toward their accomplishment. Let me just share with you the 4 major areas that we'll be working on, or priorities. The first one is to resist any efforts to erode two-family zoning within the greater McIntyre district. The second one is to protect the streetscape of the district and its historic nature. The third one is to maintain our parks and the burial grounds within the greater McIntyre district. And then the last one is to work with the Salem Police Department to ensure the safe nature of the district. So I want to thank you. I hope to see you again on behalf of the district, and I want to share with you the press release that's going out tonight to local media. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Carol McLaughlin, please.
Hi, Kara McLaughlin. I'm at 68 Dearborn Street, and I'm the director at the House of the Seven Gables. I stood up here about a month ago to talk about the CPA funding, and specifically with regard to the nonprofits that were recommended by the Community Preservation Committee. And at the time, I commended and still do the work of the committee because they certainly did their homework and put an incredible amount of time and thought into their recommendations. I stand here tonight because when we submitted our application, which you all approved last month, thank you. When we submitted it for $20,000 because we were hopeful to receive another $10,000 from the Daughters of the American Revolution. The entire project is costing $60,000. The day after we submitted our application, we received a decline letter from the Daughters of the American Revolution. So I contacted Jane Guy and said, is there a possibility that I can request this money that I did not receive from the Daughters of the American Revolution from the Community Preservation Committee? And she said yes. So that is why I'm here tonight. So last month I was really focusing on the eligibility of nonprofits in general. Tonight I'd like to address the worthiness of the House of the Seven Gables, going back to why we were founded in the first place back in 1910 when Carolyn Emerton turned the House of the Seven Gables into a museum. She did that specifically not to preserve the building and the other buildings on the campus, but also to fund what was called settlement work. At the turn of the century, Salem was experiencing an influx of immigrants from Europe, Eastern Europe, Poland, Russia, and they were settling in the Derby Street neighborhood. She set up a settlement house to provide social services to those people, and it included English language lessons and other types of job skills training and community activities. That dual mission of preservation and settlement education exists today. I told the committee a little bit earlier about some of the things we were doing. I'd like to list those for the counselors that were not here. Over the past few years, we funded and worked with Salem High School on an after-school program called Salem Through Hawthorne's Eyes. We spent $41,000 over the course of 3 years on that program for Salem High School students. Last year, we invited all 3rd and 5th grade students to enjoy field trips that would normally cost $8 a student, which would amount to a total of $10,000 in field trip funds that those schools didn't have to pay, Salem schools. We took over the funding of English language and citizenship classes at the Bentley School. The city of Salem had a grant. The grant money ran out. We stepped up and spent $15,000 over the last 2 years paying for English language and citizenship classes. You've all received an invitation to attend the naturalization ceremony that will be occurring for some of these people on July 16th at the House of the Seven Gables. I hope to see you there. In 2011, the Salem Public Schools had overflow students. They didn't have enough space in their summer school programs for English language learners. We took those students in and followed the same curriculum that the Salem Public Schools did and provided that programming free of charge. This summer, we'll be offering the Caribbean Connections program free of charge to Salem students, 5-week program where we will be teaching them the history of Salem in a dual language model, because these will primarily be English language learners. They'll learn the content and they'll also learn English at the same time. So these are just examples of what the House of the Seven Gables is doing for our settlement work today. And that is in addition to all of the economic activity that we generate through our visitation here. I'd like to point out that yes, we have an endowment. No, it is not sufficient to cover the preservation needs at our organization. We operate at a deficit, which I think that 990 will have shown as well. We operate at a deficit, and we have $750,000 worth of work, preservation work, roofs, windows, siding, systems, to do on the 8 historic houses on our campus. It is not something that we can accomplish without help. I therefore respectfully request the council to approve the additional $10,000 for replacing the roof on Nathaniel Hawthorne's birthplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Any councilors wish to take a few moments for testimony? Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. As all of us know, when we're engaging in our duties here in government services, we get to meet a lot of people, work and engage with a lot of people, and we even get to be friendly and really like some of these people because they're good people and they're doing a good job for the city. One of these folks that we all know that we've all worked with in various ways over the years is Jason Silva. We got a little letter from the mayor asking us, and I'm going to read that. Our hearts go out to our fellow employee, Jason Silva, who lost his mother earlier this week after a brief illness. The family has indicated that funeral arrangements will be private. Our thoughts and prayers are with Jason at this time. Anyone wishing to express condolences may feel free to send a card or note to the Silva family, 56 Dane Street, Beverly, Mass. 01915. I would ask, Mr. President, with your indulgence, that we have a moment of silence for Jason Silva's mother.
Thank you. Please rise. One moment. Thank you. Any further council notices? Being none. Hearings.
Ordered that National Grid to install a conduit on Ward Street.
Anybody wishing to speak in favor? Please approach the podium and give us your name and address, please.
Sabita Mahabir Sheehy for National Grid, 44 River Street, Beverly, Massachusetts. This is to provide service from the overhead to the underground, to a section of underground in that area.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Anybody wishing to speak in opposition? Being none. It seems like a pretty good one. Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the hearing be closed.
Counsel McCarthy moves the hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Counsel McCarthy.
I further move for approval.
Counsel McCarthy moves for approval. Under discussion.
No discussion, Mr. President. I apologize for being late. I was at my son's baseball banquet and ran a little late, but
Don't worry, we understand.
no, I appreciate that. Thank you. But at this time, I just move for approval.
All right, on Counsel McCarthy's motion for approval. Well, first, hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? Hearing is closed. On Counsel McCarthy's motion for approval, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Appointments and reappointments. Oh, further hearings? Excuse me, one more hearing. One more hearing. So further hearings. Thank you.
We have a petition from Welby Pena and Ashley Marshall, owners of Pastelitos Restaurant located at 101 Lafayette Street, for extended hours of operation. The requested hours are Friday, Saturday, and holidays from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Current hours are Sunday through Thursday, 10 to 10, and Fridays and Saturdays, 10 to midnight.
Thank you. Anybody wishing to speak in favor? No? Is the petitioner here? Oh, you have to speak in favor. Well, please approach the podium and give us your name and address, please, and make your case.
Well, Welby Pena, 101 Lafayette Street, Pastelitos, here for extended hours.
Yep. Did you have any plan in place or any specific reasons, anything you want to discuss?
We want to see if we can get some of the, after the bar hours, customers.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Being none, anybody wishing to speak in opposition? Councilor O'Keefe?
Speak in opposition. I went by the establishment today. It's the corner of Peabody and Lafayette Street, 101. And across the street is a housing development, and 2 blocks up are 2 hotels. And I don't believe either of them have central air conditioning, so I see some air conditioners and windows, what have you, but the tenants must own those. But tonight you have a petition to have a bench outside.
Also, yep.
So it's a double hit. You want to stay
Okay.
open till 2, and then you want people to be able to sit outside at 2 o'clock in that neighborhood.
No, it's just, it's to put out 2 benches in front of the windows.
And what will the people do at the benches?
If someone were to come over and eat, and they can sit outside.
They will sit and the problem we have in most bars in Salem is they don't want to go home. And I've listened to people on Derby Street, they don't want to go home. The neighbors were in here one night telling about, the licensing board saying the patrons do not leave when the doors are closed. They hang around, sit in the curb, and rejoice. I don't think nothing good happens after midnight. So I cannot support your application. It's a compact neighborhood, and people live there, and they have small children, and the kids want to sleep, and the parents want to sleep, and there's no place to have hours of operation till 2 a.m.
Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe. Any further comments? Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I just have a couple of questions for Mr. Pena. You do not hold a liquor license there, Mr. Pena, but I will say directly that there's no way I think that I'm not going to support 2 a.m. I don't think you'll get this board or any subcommittee here to support 2 a.m. I would be very surprised. I would ask Mr. Pena that perhaps you reconsider this, rethink your hours, and maybe come up with a more reasonable hour, past 10 o'clock probably, maybe 11 o'clock, maybe 11:30, maybe midnight. You're not serving liquor there, but you will be getting people that have been drinking, perhaps. We've had other places in Salem that have tried to do this over the years with varying levels of success, depending on the location. So my recommendation, if I can, to Mr. Pena would be to maybe reconsider this with some different hours and bring it back to us. And might be the best thing for you to do, if I may, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. Councilor Epler.
I want to rise in support of what previous counselor just said, and I would also invite, if the city clerk agrees with the procedure of this, if the applicant, now let me ask the chair, if the applicant withdraws the application but then later resubmits, does he need to file a new petition fee?
That's an advertisement fee. This hearing goes into the paper.
I was just trying to save you some money if you were going to do that.
Council Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, just a quick question. You guys are right by Wendy's. How late is Wendy's open until?
2 o'clock, I believe.
No.
Okay, so
No, they aren't. I don't believe they are.
do we know how late Wendy's is open until?
Council Toriel may know.
Yeah, I believe their drive-through only is open extended hours, and I don't know what time the restaurants are, but I've seen a sign there that says the drive-through is open late hours, and we also did that we did that about 2 years ago for the McDonald's on Canal Street. We gave them extended drive-through hours, but not dining room hours.
All right, thank you. Any further councilors? Council O'Keefe, would you take my spot a minute? Council O'Keefe, would you?
At the sergeant, the third.
Thank you. With all due respect to your business, it's just, you have by right 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And from 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. is the people's hours for reasonable quiet. And that's our most difficult neighborhood as far as noise and people congregating, those kind of things. And to have something that attracts people to come, especially after the bars close, is really difficult for me. If I had 24 $1 bills and I gave you, 17 of them, and then I gave somebody else 7, that'd be a pretty good deal. If I go until 2 in the morning, you're getting a few more of those, and the people that want the reasonable peace and quiet are getting a few less. That's why I have difficult time with these late night hours. Downtown, our Dunkin' Donuts, A Taste of Time was downtown, they were open late. That's where we're downtown, there's usually a police car there, those kind of things, the late night hours are downtown. As we get into the neighborhoods, it's more the people's hours as it gets later at night, so that's my difficulty with that. Thank you. All right, now, Council Milo. Oh, sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, no.
That's fine.
Council McCarthy.
No, I'll yield. You recognize my Council Milo first. Go ahead.
Council Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. I just want to confirm, it says here, your current hours are Sunday through Thursday, 10 to 10, and then Friday and Saturday, you're open till midnight already, right? So
Yes.
you already have kind of a little late hour there.
Oh, wait a
Okay,
minute.
all right, I just wanted to confirm that, thank you.
You're only allowed to be open until 11 a.m. anyways, by right. So that after 11 comes before the city council. Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The ordinance.
I've heard everything that's been said. I agree with most of it. I would have to say that this is a difficult street. I obviously want to support the businesses, and you want to look at the neighbors at the same time, and there are some neighbors that could be potentially affected by this. I also understand the idea of capturing the crowds after hours. I mean, unfortunately, when you look at the petition, maybe if you've been looking for Thursday night till midnight or something like that, because you already had a couple days. Didn't have a chance to check the police log, see if there's been any incidents around there. Most of the incidents, I don't believe, are towards this address. I think they're down the street a little bit. But at this time, I think the gentleman runs a good business, and I understand what he's trying to do. But I think if he's, as was suggested, maybe a little more creative in the way he approached this and looking for different hours on different days, probably extend it out a little bit to start before we end up making a big leap. I just think it's 2 a.m.'s a big leap from midnight to 2. That's 2 extra hours. I think maybe if he'd thought, maybe come to 1 first, and then but that's when the bars are closing, and maybe just get the bars as they're leaving and not asking. It's encouraging people to hang around downtown, and I know I represent a lot of the neighbors that live in the downtown area, and the last thing I think that they would want is to encourage people to hang out more downtown, but I understand, when he looks at it in a business sense, he's looking to capture that, but at this time, I can't support this as well.
Thank you, Council McCarthy. Council Legault.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, thank you, through you. But I'm wondering if we can, I don't want Mr. Pena to have to pay the fee again for the advertising, and maybe this will work, maybe it wasn't. Can we put this in committee? Because I'd like to know specifically what hours Wendy's is operating on before we make the decision. Are they allowed to do a drive-through till 2 o'clock? Because as we all know, if they're doing drive-through till 2 o'clock, they have people congregating in their parking lot, unless somebody calls to move them along. So if they're doing drive-through from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, there are in fact people congregating there. And that may be an issue in and of itself. But I would prefer perhaps to see this go to committee. If there's no notice required for committee, we could take this up in a little more detail, do some research and find out exactly when does Wendy's close for table service and how late that they're doing their drive-through. Because I hate to make this decision one way or the other without knowing exactly what his neighboring business is allowed to do, because I don't think that'd be very fair.
Well, I would entertain that motion. Councilor Go?
Through you, Mr. President, I would move that we refer this to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs for hearing.
Second.
Co-posted.
Co-post.
Absolutely co-posted, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Under discussion, with the suggestion that the neighborhood people and neighborhood groups be invited to the meeting also. Thank you. Okay, on the motion to move this to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Were you, sir, were you willing to speak in favor or opposed on this?
In favor, sir.
In favor?
I'm actually agent of the location, I'm sorry. I
We-
kinda came late, I'm sorry.
While we're still talking, I would like to give you a minute to speak, because you're here and you're ready, so please step forward and state your name and address and,
Hi, I'm Scott Myers. I'm an agent of Pastelitos, and I'm sorry I'm late, and I apologize to everyone here, all here. What's going on is that we do have Wendy's across the street. We're a family-oriented business. We're trying to, accommodate, not a late-night crowd, more say, but just offer a difference of food here in Salem. Salem's a beautiful town, city, sorry, and I've actually, I was very happy that the business was moved here, and you guys have been very accommodating in our growth. And in this, we're hoping that these hours are extended, because we're very safe, and we kind of understand what's going on in that community. We're there, and we're very, very lending to the community as far as we just don't sell pastelitos. We do speak to our customers, and we have very close relationships with our customers. So I'm asking that, I don't know at what level my requisition is at the stage of this hearing, but I do hope that it's considered in the consideration to extend the hours, and know that we're in total support of the safety and concerns of Salem, and we will always be.
all right. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so you understand it's been moved to committee, and there'll be a committee meeting on it, and you'll be invited?
Yes,
Thank you for coming in.
and thank you for allowing me to speak, everyone.
Councilor Go?
Thank you, Mr. President. If we are finished with, well, we still have to vote on that, of course.
We voted. I just gave him a moment to speak.
Okay, I would like to move that we take an item out of order and move to page 14. We might as well deal with the
Thank you.
bench item at the same time.
That matter's all said. It's going to committee. I don't want to keep you around it. You're free to leave now, if
Okay.
you should.
All right, enjoy your evening, thank you.
Thank you.
We have the bench item.
Excuse me?
Same businesses.
Oh, the same
Same guy.
Okay.
I move that we take an item out of order and move to page 14, so we can take
Understood.
up the bench issue with Pastelitos also.
What?
Yes. Yes.
The hearing open.
Mr. President?
Thank you. Council McCarthy?
Thank you. Just for clarification, I realize that the matter's been moved to committee, but at the same time, I'd also like to keep the hearing open. That way, we don't have to reopen the hearing. So if we keep the matter, I will move that the hearing remain open pending the referral to committee, and whatever the committee reports back then at the next council meeting. We'll have everyone back after we have a meeting, and then we'll take a formal vote on it then.
Okay.
Everyone understand?
Okay, on both matters?
On both matters.
Okay.
But we're gonna move the bench, that way, when we have committee, we can talk about the bench as well. But we're gonna take that out of order right now, move that to the same meeting, and then we'll group them all together and clean it up.
Yes, thank you, and thank you. And so we're fine again,
Now,
right?
Yeah,
we don't have to vote that it be open. We haven't voted that it be closed.
Right.
So the hearing remains open.
it's going to remain open.
Thank you. Now I'll entertain a motion to move to page 14.
So moved.
Okay, on the motion to move to page 14, petitions, all those in favor, all those opposed? The ayes have it. Counsel McCarthy. Madam City Clerk has to read the petition first.
Held from the last meeting, the request from the owners of Pastelitos Restaurant located at 101 Lafayette Street for 2 benches to be placed outside of the establishment at their entranceway.
Thank you. Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on License Orders and Legal Affairs and be taken up with the previous matter and reported back to the City Council, at which time we'll take it up we'll take each matter up.
Co-posted, right?
Co-posted.
Move this matter be moved to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Both matters will be taken up at the same time in the same committee, and you'll have notice of the committee meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Councilor Fury.
Mr. President, in light of, we have taken out of order, if I may, request, Mr. President, that we go to page 12, committee reports, administration and finance on top of page 12, if we may.
Thank you, Councilor Fury. On Councilor Fury's motion that we move to committee reports on page 12, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, June 25th, 2015. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of a $10,000 increase in CPA funding for the House of Seven Gables Hawthorne Birthplace Roofing Project. Per CPC recommendation, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
Thank you. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. We met on this earlier this evening. It was a fairly contentious at points in the discussion. Basically, to bring people up to speed on this, the House of Seven Gables was awarded approximately $20,000 to do their roofing project, as a portion of their roofing restoration project. As Ms. McLaughlin said during her public testimony she referred to, they had applied for several grants to make up the balance of that. One of the grants that they had expected to get from the Daughters of the American Revolution, they did not get. They learned after they had already submitted the request to the CPC for approval that they did not get the grant, and at that point it was already in the process, and so they went through and submitted a supplemental request to the CPC, which discussed it and approved it and recommended it to us. The discussion basically was in 2 directions. One is the House of Seven Gables is an organization of some size. They do have, although they are not the largest, far from the largest nonprofit in the city, they do have some financial resources, but they also are, as most nonprofits are, they're stretched fairly thin as to what they can and cannot do. And the CPA does, in fact, very much allow for the kind of projects that they're undertaking. For us to use the funding for nonprofit institutions, we are allowed to do that by the statute. So the biggest concerns were with the size, with the precedent, and with excuse me, and with the idea that the CPC, this Community Preservation Act dollars, could essentially be almost a bank to refer to, like the lender of last resort in some of these projects. On the other side of the argument was the services that the Seven Gables does in fact provide to Salem students, to Salem residents, the free admission that Salem residents get to their programs, and they've extended that in the last year to allow Salem residents to participate, to use the entire grounds as opposed to just the basic grounds in a couple of the buildings. They've extended that to free admission in general in the last year. They're starting to track those numbers. They have had a couple of hundred Salem residents come through since they put in their new tracking system, but they don't have numbers from previous years. So that it was a fairly heavy discussion, but ultimately we, as a committee, we decided to proceed forward.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Councilor Fury.
Yes, Mr. President, fellow members. As a strong advocate of the Community Preservation Act, it has been manna from heaven to nonprofits and public areas to meet growing needs in a very tight economic time. We are all stewards and stakeholders in our rich history and heritage here in Salem. We are blessed to be in this very beautiful Essex National Historic District that was founded by Salem's own Annie Harris, director of the partnership, and our own Senator Ted Kennedy. We should not be like the blue states and the red states in our country, us versus them. We're all in the very same boat on a very stormy sea, and we owe each other a terrible loyalty. Tourism is our economic lifeline here in Salem. Nonprofits are struggling for the same dollars as public institutions are. The House of Seven Gables is a world-recognized and respected jewel and treasure. Unlike the prestigious Peabody Essex Museum, where I work part-time, they have a large membership and endowments that they go into each year. The House of Seven Gables does not have that great source that the Peabody Essex Museum does. It has a vibrant history, Hawthorne Scarlet Letter, the House of Seven Gables. People from all around the world visit Salem to see the House of Seven Gables. When I ate at McDonald's in downtown Beijing, of all places, downtown Beijing, in McDonald's, the young waiter, college waiter, going to college, fluent English, learned English in the 3rd grade, said Salem, when he saw my name tag, he said to me, Salem, House of Seven Gables. It's a worldwide recognized institution, even from Beijing, China. So I think Salem has a great history of culture and history coming together. The CPA is a powerful tool for nonprofits and public needs. We're very lucky to have the CPA committee that we appointed. None of us volunteered for that committee. Not one of us. We could have, if we wanted to, individually join that committee, myself included. But we appointed a very professional, high caliber, and Jane is our director of that. And all of you are here tonight, speaking on behalf of a very beautiful jewel that we have tonight. We should invest in jewels and treasures, as we are investing in Winter Island, the front page of the paper, Fort Pickering. We need to invest in our history. History is our lifeline. We don't have Sylvania, Parker Brothers anymore. Tourism is our lifeline. So this small investment is an investment into the future of Salem, for people to come to Salem and Salem people to come to House of Seven Gables. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Fury. Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm also a proponent of the Community Preservation Act, and I voted in favor of it a few years ago as a private citizen. I'm in favor of support for historical renovation throughout the city. The city is home to hundreds of historic homes and historic places, both public and private. The CPA was passed predominantly to take tax money and to place those monies in four different areas, including historic preservation, including green spaces, including housing, etc. I'm not in support of the $10,000 to the House of Seven Gables, and I was not present at the meeting in which the first $20,000 was approved by the council. I was actually at a work conference at that time, so I wasn't able to speak at length about it. But my issue with the House of Seven Gables receiving the money is not in any way, shape, or form a negative reflection on the CPC. I think the CPC is a quality, professional, very thoughtful committee, and it's not something that I take lightly in going against a recommendation of a professional board and a highly esteemed board. However, I've got procedural issues that I want to address in just a second. I'm also not against the House of Seven Gables itself. The House of Seven Gables and Kara McLaughlin and her staff, who provide all of the quality programming that Councilor Turiel just went over just a few minutes ago. It does provide an absolute benefit to the city. There's no question about that. And we do, as Councilor Fury mentioned, we do need to maintain all of the jewels that we have here in Salem. All of that being said, the House of Seven Gables, as any nonprofit, files a Form 990, a tax form. And that's submitted, and it's a public record. It's submitted to the Attorney General's office. And the most recent one that's been on file shows that at least at the end of 2013, that there were $3.1 million in assets that were held at the end of that tax year. And in addition, within that same tax return, it lists $1.9 million in an endowment that that institution holds. So the question of, is this a lot of money for the city council to pass in terms of CPA money being turned over to House of Seven Gables? No, $10,000 is not a lot of money. But it's also not a lot of money to the House of Seven Gables. The House of Seven Gables is a larger nonprofit. And what I believe a private nonprofit who receives CPA money for historical purposes, that kind of nonprofit should be a smaller nonprofit, perhaps a historic Salem Incorporated. They have $600,000 in terms of an endowment, at least as of the end of the 2014 tax year, according to what's on file with the state. If they had a project that they wanted to bring forward, that would be great. And that would be something that I would entertain. But I believe that the House of Seven Gables is too large. And there's at some point there is a line, and I don't know where that is, but it just, to me, this feels like the House of Seven Gables is too large for this money to be spent. It opens up the door, frankly, Mr. President, to the Peabody Essex Museum, requesting, with the hundreds of millions of dollars that institution has. It opens up the door for them to make requests of CPA money. It opens up the doors for Salem State University to be seeking CPA monies. I don't think we want to go down that path. And what I think having us say no tonight, it will not hurt the House of Seven Gables. They will be able to come up with the $10,000 out of the $1.9 million that they have in cash. They have $60,000 per year or so that they can raise in fundraising. This is demonstrated within their tax return. This is something that they can do. It's not something that will break the bank for them. But what it will do is send a message to the city and to our taxpayers that we are very much centered on making sure that we preserve our tax dollars, that we preserve our CPA funds, that we're saving those monies for publicly owned renovations, and for smaller nonprofits that are looking for those additional dollars. And I would just say one last thing, and that is in terms of if you were to look to the House of Seven Gables and the 8 parcels of real estate that they own within the city of Salem, according to the assessor's office, there's $2.5 million of assessed value of all of those put together. And I would add, Mr. President, that we don't have a pilot. There's a lot of things that are voluntarily done by the House of Seven Gables, and I don't want to discount that. But there's nothing required of the House of Seven Gables. And instead of receiving, if it were residential parcels, we would receive $41,000 per year, but for the fact that they're a nonprofit. If it were a commercial enterprise, we would be receiving $77,000 in real estate taxes per year, if, again, they were not a nonprofit. It was mentioned earlier that approximately 200 Salem residents have utilized the free admission to the House of Seven Gables, and I haven't gone there recently, and I need to go. So I will certainly be taking that up as well. But those 200 tickets at $1,250 a ticket is only $2,500 per year. And I know that doesn't encapsulate all of the value that they provide, but there is a deficit there. And we need to, we're already, in essence, we're already providing a $41,000 donation every single year to the House of Seven Gables. So I would ask my colleagues if we can vote this down tonight. That would send a message, I think, to our tax-paying constituents that this is something that we take very seriously, and that we take a look at the process in which we release it, whether it's appropriate, not whether we can, but whether it's appropriate that we release monies to very large nonprofits. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. following the example of the councilor from Ward 4, I will say I voted against the CPA as a voter twice prior to being on the council. To me, it's a tax. Yeah, but there it is, it's there. Now that I'm on the council, it's a tool in our belt that we have and that we're supposed to use, and we do. And as a councilor, I certainly did vote to approve the original $20,000 for the Seven Gables. I don't have a problem with giving money from the CPA to nonprofits. It's part of the process. It's part of the state-approved process. It's right in the regulations. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think that that's the issue here tonight. The issue here for me tonight, and it truly does pain me to say this because I love the Seven Gables. Gables were supportive of me when I was a child in the 1970s, and they were supportive of my family in the 70s with some of the counseling and programming that they did, and it was counseling and programming that we needed, and it was good that it was there. My issue here is setting a precedent for people to come back twice. I don't want to do that. Come once, tell us what you need. If the CPC approves it, I have no problem with that because they're a good group, they're a competent group, and they know what they're doing. I'm concerned with setting a precedent for anybody that you can come back and ask again in the same year. If we're going to talk procedures, that's a procedure we should talk about. Not about whether or not nonprofits qualify, because they do. They just do. That's the way it is. But I have problems with setting a precedent here. I'm not comfortable with it, and I want to say again, this is a painful vote for me. A very painful vote. But I voted to approve the original 20, but I will not be voting to approve this additional 10 for that reason and that one reason only. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. Councilor O'Keefe.
I yield to Councilor. Go ahead.
Thank you. Councilor Giroux.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to say how strongly in support I am of this. I find it interesting about the comparison of what we could potentially get from residential taxes or commercial taxes being that $41,000 or that $77,000 when Ms. McLaughlin pointed out in her public testimony that really what her organization has given back to the city has been $95,000. So we're actually making a lot more than we could if we had that pilot in place. And coming back twice for requests, this actually isn't unusual. This has happened in a lot of other cities. This has happened with other projects as well. And in fact, one of the projects, the people were advised that if they did have an opportunity to come back and ask for more money, that they were welcome to do so. This is all part of the text of the Community Preservation Act. If people took time to read this to understand exactly what the criteria are that the CPC works with to make these determinations, then they would see how well they do this and what they're working with, that this meets the criteria of historic preservation, that this, and then the other point that I want to make that I made in the committee meeting is that we are allowed to put a preservation restriction on the House of Seven Gables as well. So this isn't just free money that we're just giving away. This is something that the city is getting back, and the city already gets back, and we're getting even more back when we put this preservation restriction on them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Giroux. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to touch on something that the good Ward 6 councilor had said, and just to, I think, make a correction. Ms. McLaughlin did say that it was a $91,000 figure, but that was over years. A lot of the figures that she stated were 2 years, 4 years. Councilor Epley, in his looking at this, that property tax or commercial tax is yearly, so it's a completely different number. Also, we've already given, the CPC has already given the House of Seven Gables $20,000, so we already have a preservation restriction on the property. So it doesn't matter if we give another 10 or another 100,000, we already have it given the first 20,000. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. How do you measure the worth of value of what someone gives to a community or how it's perceived? It's hard how to put something quantitative on that. It's easy to add up numbers, and so I will tell you from experience that my colleague across the aisle brought up from the fact that my mother, she's going to hit me when I get home, my wife, worked at the House of Seven Gables for numerous years. For over 20 years, she was the programming director at the House of Seven Gables Settlement House, and you cannot quantitatively put a number on what they gave back to the community the Salem House was put in that community as a tool, as a resource for the Polish community that was the neighborhood, was a very Polish neighborhood back in the day, and how it evolved over the course of time and turned into preschool programming, after-school programming. My wife used to run 90 kids a day through summer camp, 3 sessions, and she could tell you every single one of their names. I can't even remember my own name half the time, but they've since morphed and changed what they do, what they give back. The Settlement House has since closed its doors through to a variety of different reasons. We could talk hours at length about it. But what they do give to the community is immeasurable. What they bring in, as was alluded to, as in recognition, what they bring in tourist dollars, what they bring to the neighborhood. I can tell you as an attendee of probably, I don't even want to put a quantitative, very numerous amounts of historic Derby Street meetings on a monthly basis. The House of Seven Gables has been very gracious over the years. On the 8 years that I've been on the council, I can't tell you how many meetings that they've entertained and hosted for the Derby Street Neighborhood Association. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had over the years when, as recently as this year, with the snow and the parking situations and how the Gables opened up their parking lot to residents because they realized, you know, if people can't even get to the museum because of the amount of snow, then obviously the residents need what they did in there. The gardens are always opened up to residents, by the way, for full disclosure. I will have to say that my wife's sister has been doing the gardens there for a numerous amount of years, and they are spectacular. And anybody who has had the opportunity to walk those grounds over the years and know what originally was done by Dan Foley back in the day, Dan Foley had a book out about it and what's been done over the years. As my sister-in-law took up that bit. So I will say the House of Seven Gables is an asset to the community. It's an asset to the city. What they're asking for, I'm not even going to put a quantitative number on it, but the fact that they're asking is we should be listening. I give the committee behind me all my full support. We appointed 2 members. The committee vets out what's in front of them. They process what's in front of them. And if we as a city believe that we should be doing more public projects, then we as a city need to get more public projects on the table so they can vet those out as well. I believe this year they had, Jane, correct me, 18 applications and turned down 3, and so you processed 15? Yeah, somewhere in that range. I'm going by memory. So I supported it the last time. I'll support it this time. I think that it makes sense. I think the House of Seven Gables does a wonderful job. I don't think it should be debatable I don't think we should be here debating the size of a nonprofit, whether it's a big nonprofit or a small nonprofit. The fact that they're a nonprofit, they're in a class, nonprofit. They're coming in because they have a need, they have a recognized need, and the committee thought it was of value. The Hawthorne birthplace is a very historic structure. I've been through it numerous times myself. It does need some work, it needs some attention. So I will say that I will support this. I would urge my colleagues to support this. I don't think it's a question or debate about nonprofits versus public, or it's a debate about the quantitative amount. I think it's just a debate about whether it's what the committee recognized as what was in front of them, and they put it in front of us for approval up or down, and that's what it's about.
Thank you, Council McCarthy. Any further? Council O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, members of the City Council. You recall at the last meeting I opposed the $19,000 for the roof. And subsequently, I received a call from the Boston Globe, and they wanted me to write an article about my opinion of why I opposed the CTA, which I did, and I kept it on your table a week ago. And I just want to quote the last sentence that I said to the Boston Globe about this matter. Great newspaper. I am not a lawyer, but in my opinion, the Massachusetts Department of Revenue opinion on similar issues does not cover this private property roof repairs request, and this instant request for public funds is a violation of the Anti-Aid Amendment of the Massachusetts Constitution, as this roof replacement appears to fly in the face of a broader definition of a public purpose. Now, I'm not against the House of Seven Gables or any other group that's helping out the children of Salem and everybody else, but it's a private venture, and the aid amendment to you, Massachusetts Constitution says you don't give money to private ventures. You use it for public purposes. And that's what I dug this all up, and then I know my colleagues disagree. But what really bothers me today, is when I went over to the CTC office and read the minutes of the meeting, the last two meetings, which are still in draft form, and I read Mayor Driscoll's letter to the CTC, her letter about public versus private funds. And I just read one sentence, and we hear that they should be, they're this and they're that, and they're good citizens, and they just been some reappointed. The last paragraph of the mayor's letter, April 27th of this year, I respectfully request, now these are people that the mayor recommended the city council approve for this post. I respectfully request that for fiscal year 2016, the CPC prioritize and fund public projects first before utilizing these tax dollars to fund improvements at private facilities. The mayor's asking that taxpayers in Salem shouldn't be spending money on private purposes, they should send it on public purposes. All right, that's the mayor, our mayor. Even though these private facilities are valued and important pieces of our community in this difficult fiscal climate, with the urgent needs we are facing to maintain and preserve our own public infrastructure, I do not believe that it would be appropriate time to use CPA funds for anything except public investments. They did just the opposite. They give $19,000, and now they have the gall to ask for another 10. That's outrageous. This is public money. And now they're not good at 19, now they have 10. They should get some more money to take that tree down before it falls on the house. I know the audience doesn't appreciate some of my comments, but I have a right as a public citizen to speak about it.
Councilor O'Keefe.
I resent the implication that I'm wrong here. I do not believe, this from the mayor, I do not believe that there should be an appropriate time to use CPA funds for anything except public investments. I hope you will agree and will vote accordingly in making your project awards tonight. Now listen not to the House of 7 Gables. This is public versus private. The mayor's saying, don't do it. Please, use public first, and that's fine. They should just the opposite. Now, what confidence do I have now when this comes up again that they're going to do private, and public? I don't. Some of my colleagues agree with me. If you don't, fine. But this is wrong to take public funds to give it to private people.
Councilor O'Keefe, would you take the?
Councilor Lash, after side, the third.
Thank you. I'm speaking as somebody who did not vote for the CPA. I didn't vote for it because I felt it was taken, only some of the people get taxed property taxes in the city. And it was taxing the people who pay more. And I didn't feel that just seemed unfair to me. Some people don't know that the money for the CPA isn't just out there. It comes from real estate taxes generated in the city. Every city in town has real estate sales, and there's a fee on there that goes to the CPA. And I'm a firm believer that we're creating those circumstances in the city. That money, I feel, should go to our city directly. It would be more than we have in the CPA committee now by taxing our people extra, because we have a lot of activity in the city. But our city created those circumstances, and I feel every city that creates those kind of circumstances should benefit directly from it. We probably collect more than goes into our kitty from our tax, and it's going to other cities that don't have the activity we have. That in itself isn't fair either. But it is what it is. You know, you make your vote, you make your case against it, and then you have to accept the results. So I accept that the CPA money is here. And what I would ask the committee to do is to, the CPA committee has worked very hard, the people have had their applications, to take this year and allow this year. And then we have going forward next year to put rules in place. I also have a little bit of a problem with CPA money going to a piece of property that we don't have the deed to. But it goes to other social programs that we don't control either. So it's not just the House of 7 Gables and Hamilton Hall. So this year here, with all the work that has been done, we're at the very end of this. I would ask the council to allow this to go through, even though it isn't quite exactly what some of us might want, myself included, and then take the time to have people in and make some rules going forward that'll be a little bit fairer in both directions. So if you could, I would ask you for you to support this. And also the other thing is, the House of Seven Gables struck me as a place I've been around my whole life, and I never benefited from it directly, but I know people who have. And of all the nonprofits in our city, I would bet they have one of the highest, if not the highest percentage of money taken in versus spent. So a charity, if 80% is really good, I'd be willing to bet they're probably above 80% on what they take in versus what they spend on people and programs and things around the city. So just a little bit of goodness in our heart. It's not an easy vote for me, but I really feel it's the right thing for us to do is to vote for this tonight and move forward and debate the issue further, you know, and then have things in place for the committee next year. Thank you. Any further? Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just move for a roll call vote.
Yes. Council Siegel's moved for a roll call vote. Do we have any further discussion on the matter?
3 hands.
Council Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say that I appreciate everything that the committee's done. I appreciate Ms. McLaughlin and her passionate fundraising efforts. For me, this is an issue of looking at, there's a lot of philosophical ideas being thrown around here tonight. And one of the things I wanted to make a, excuse me, make a point of saying is that for me, I'm looking at the, this particular fund and this particular process as a partnership, which I think we all look at our nonprofits in the city as such. You know, the city's partners with various nonprofits. And we do work together on a lot of different initiatives. In this particular case, I look at the city as a partner. And in a partnership, everybody brings something to the table. For this particular project, I think, where did it go? Mass Cultural Council, I think, provided some funding for the project, right? And the city put some funding in. At this point, I don't think it's really unfair to ask the Gables to contribute to the project, and so for that reason, I'm not gonna support the additional 10,000.
Thank you, Council Milo. Council Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we suspend the rules to allow Ms. McLaughlin to address the council.
We have an objection. Sorry. We did have the public comment at the beginning.
Move the question, Mr. President.
Now, is there any further discussion by the council? Okay, Council Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the House of Seven Gables, the roof is actually costing $60,000. And so they're asking for roughly half of that, and they're getting funding from other sources. So it's not like they're just asking us to cover all of it. And again, this is an organization that helps people, a lot of people in this community with learning English, with citizenship, with all of these things. And we have, and I mean, look, we are a gateway city. We have low-income residents, and this is an organization that helps meet those needs. And again, I mean, people are saying that they think that this is a great organization, that the CPA is great, the CPC did their job. So why is this $10,000 so difficult to swallow? Thank you.
I'm not sure. Councilor Epley. Thank you, Councilor Gerard.
Flip side of that same coin, Mr. President, that same $10,000 from an entity that has $1.9 million in the bank is also not a lot of money. So my colleague is correct that it's not a lot of money, but it could be something that the House of Seven Gables could also provide.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Any further discussion? It'll be a difficult vote. I know everybody's done their work. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll. No.
Move the question, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President.
On adoption of the recommendation.
Adoption of recommendation by roll call vote.
Okay, on Councilor Torio's motion for adoption of the recommendation by roll call vote. Under discussion? No.
I'm just voting for the roll call.
Okay.
Need 3 hands for roll call vote.
Okay, 3 hands for roll call vote. Let's see the 3 hands. Roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Turio.
Yes.
Counselor Siegel.
No.
Counselor O'Keefe.
No.
Counselor Milo?
No.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
No.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
No.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes. On the matter of $10,000 increase in the CPA funding for the House of Seven Gables roofing project, 11 council is voting, 6 in the affirmative, 5 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Turiel.
Mr. President, I move for immediate reconsideration. The hope does not prevail.
Councilor Turiel moves immediate reconsideration in the hope that it does not prevail. All those in favor?
Yes.
All those opposed?
Opposed.
The nays have it. The matter does not carry. Now, I would ask for a 1-minute recess if I could to allow Council Segal.
Mr. President, I was going to just say if we go back to where we were.
Yes. I'll ask for a 1-minute recess and then we'll move back where we're on the program. Let's give 1 minute to clear the room if we could. Thank you. Okay, we're going to return to page 4 on the agenda. Appointments and reappointments.
Mayor's appointment of William McHugh to serve as the Harbor Master for the Port of Salem pursuant to Chapter 10, Section 4 of the City Ordinances with no expiration.
Councilor Epley.
Mr. President, I move that this be held under the rules.
Councilor Epley moves this be held under the rules. Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of both Mike Duffy and James Ticinos to serve as members of the Zoning Board of Appeals with their terms ending July 1st, 2018.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Council McCarthy moves confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
No discussion, Mr. President.
No discussion.
I want to thank both individuals for their continued service.
Thank you. On the motion, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor Segal?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Famiko?
Yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the mayor's reappointment of Mike Duffy and Jimmy Chinos to the Zoning Board of Appeals, 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments. Being none. Communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $250,000 from fund balance free cash account to human resources collective bargaining account.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Turiel moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move for adoption.
On Councilor Turiel's motion for adoption, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a appropriation that is out of free cash to deal with the FY15 implications of some of the contract settlements that they have done over the last year in negotiating some of the 15 through 18 contracts. This one, if I recall here, this was for all three, the police, fire, and AFSCME. This is going towards all three of those. The school has their own contract settlements.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. On Councilor Turiel's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $9,000 from receipt reserved harbor master accounts to harbor master part-time salary account.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Turiel moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Turiel.
Thank you. I also move for adoption.
Councilor Turiel moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is to deal with some additional staffing that they've had to do at McCabe Marina over the last year and into this year. They've taken over more functions over there within the Harbor Master Department and moved that away from rec, so they're funding it internally.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. On Councilor Turiel's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a transfer of $8,500 from Planning Board full-time salary account to Planning Department full-time salary account.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. This and the next item are both interlinked to each other, and I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Turiel moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move for adoption.
On Councilor Turiel's motion for adoption, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This ties to one employee salary, and so what they did, as I understand it, there was a miscalculation earlier in the year as to how his compensation was being handled, and what they wound up doing is, excuse me, transferring some money that was appropriated out of the planning board salary and moving it over to the planning department salary. This has to do, this is no actual change, and then there's a small free cash as the second part of this. So basically, this isn't any actual money, this is any new appropriation, this is just to correct how they had originally planned it.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. On the motion for adoption, all those in favor? Oh, excuse me, Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, a quick question, and maybe just a clarification. So this is basically just a housekeeping matter to correct a mistake. Was the mistake made in the actual budget itself, or somewhere else down the line?
The mistake, as I understand it, was made in the free cash, the next appropriation on this, the next item on the free cash side, which is $1,364. That's where the actual error was. The other side of this is, it's basically the amount is correct, it's in the wrong area. So they had part of it. This is money that should have been in the salary side for the work he was doing, and is in an area that they had to transfer it over to pay correctly. So it's not an additional appropriation.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Any further discussion? Being none, on the motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $1,364 from fund balance free cash account to the Planning Department's full-time salary account.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Turiel moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move for adoption.
On the motion for adoption, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is basically the second half of this. This is where their error lied in it. And honestly, I am not sure how they got to that point initially. There's no net change in the weekly salary or any of that. And the employee in question more than earns this keep on this. So his actual salary hasn't gone up. It's just they didn't correctly appropriate for it in the first place.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Any further discussion? Being none, on the motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance amending Chapter 10, Section 10-4, Harbor Master's appointment term, powers, and duties and compensation. It's hereby amended by deleting in its entirety the last sentence in this section. The compensation of the Harbor Master shall be fixed by the mayor under collective bargaining agreement, and replace it with the following. The compensation of the Harbor Master shall be fixed by the mayor with the approval of the City Council.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal.
On the motion to move this to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, all those in favor? All those opposed? Councilor McCarthy.
Could we have that co-posted, please?
Excuse me, co-post,
Well, I apologize.
friendly amendment, co-post with Committee of the Whole.
Thank you.
Mayor's informational page, being none. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I could just have a moment. Madam Clerk, is this the Salem High School basketball one?
Okay, applications.
Okay. Thank you. City of Salem, City Council, June 25th, 2015. Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses. No?
Yeah,
It's a tag day.
tag days, yeah.
Is motion orders or resolutions?
We got a well, I don't have that here, but we have a matter of granting certain tag days, approve the tag days for the Salem High School Girls Basketball.
Anybody know what the Organized Basketball Association is? But, a little fishy there. It's supposed to be a Salem organization.
Just read all
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
just a minute. wait.
Okay, ordered that the attached tag day license for the Organized Basketball Association for 6/27/15, 6/28/15, 7/25, 7/26, 8/15, 8/16, 9/13 be granted.
Under discussion.
Looks like they're just basic tag days for the Organized Basketball Association. I move that they be granted.
Council O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, Councilor Segal, a lot of questions. Who is the Organized Basketball Association? How many Salem teams are there? You know?
I have no idea, Council O'Keefe. I don't even have the order in front of me, to be honest with you.
All right.
In my long experience of the city council, I've never recalled approving 7 tag days.
Yeah,
7 tag days. That's 4 months
I know.
of tag days. I've never heard of that. I've never
Councilor
done
O'Keefe,
it.
will you
I don't
take
think
the
that's reasonable. Maybe 1 or 2.
Will you take the chair?
All right, well, let's find out who these people are. Councilor Sargent,
Thank you, Council.
at large.
Strongly recommend that this go to committee. We're supposed to be doing this for Salem groups. I mean, Salem people are glad to donate to Salem teams, Salem groups, Salem High School, and some other things beyond that. But this seems a little bit funny to me. I have no idea. I've never heard of this group before. A couple of years ago, a veterans group tried to come in from out of town with a whole bunch of tag days, and that would have taken away from our veterans groups and their days. So, yeah, we've got to figure this out. Thank you. Thank you, Council O'Keefe.
Well, can I have the floor again? Mr. President,
Council Legault, we'll give.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. This has not, it's not been in committee. We just had a meeting before the full board meeting today. So I would most definitively motion that we put this into ordinance as license and legal affairs co-posted with the committee of the whole.
Right. Yeah, I think we better be sorting that out then.
We've not had a committee.
Mr.
Council
President,
Segal.
We found the information, and to answer a couple of questions, and I think maybe we should bifurcate the order here. The reason it didn't come to committee, it just came today, and bypassed the committee, was because of the dates they were looking for. So maybe we could vote on the 6/27, 6/28 dates and leave the rest of the question, the other dates in committee, so then it can come into ordinance, license, and legal. It just came to the committee, this is our only meeting before the next one.
But do we know who they are?
Yes, the organization is out of Hancock Street in Salem. The people who run it, the 2 people who signed it are from 9 Hancock Street. It looks like it's the coaches. Don't really have much information on it,
Right.
but they did come in for the tag day, and because the tag day is a couple weeks away, actually it's a couple days away, it's this weekend, that's why it bypassed the, so I would suggest we vote on June 27th and June 28th, either yes or no, and put the rest of it back into committee, where we can have a committee meeting in July, and that way we can get more information on it.
Council Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. At this point, I am not compelled to withdraw my motion. I think that this needs to go to committee. They may have Hancock Street addresses, but we don't know who these folks are, what it is they're doing. They're playing basketball. Why and where? Is there a charitable connection to this? I have questions before I go issuing all these tag days. I mean, that's a lot of people out on the street asking for money. So at this point, I'm retaining my motion.
Council O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, and members of the council, we have a requirement that's not written that when they're tagging, they have a sweatshirt or some identifying that they're Salem High, soccer, Salem High, football, Salem High. These people would have down, I guess, Salem Organized Baseball Association. Who's that?
Yeah.
Who are they? I mean, we have a rule, a written rule, they have to have some sweatshirt. If they're canning, that's... Want to speak,
Keep
Councilor?
one more time here.
All right, Mr. President.
I'm really worried.
Sergeant, at large.
I'm really worried about something that we don't know much about, putting a bad light forward for all the good organizations that do tag days and do them well, and a deep-rooted Salem things. An organized basketball association should have some kind of connection to the Salem Recreation League and been through there, as with Rec League basketball, Cartoon League basketball, all those things. I played sports in Salem my whole life. I've never heard of this association before. My children played sports, basketball and all that. I have no idea. Even if it was an AAU affiliation, that would be difficult because we have so many other things to do. I've never seen anybody apply for so many dates. I've never heard of this organization before. I think it's something we should be real careful about. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pulling up the website, it really doesn't give much information. Basically, still under construction. So I would agree, I would second Councilor Legault's motion to put it into committee. And, you know, they'll just have to miss the first 2 tag days. They can come in to prove and answer the questions, then we'd be more than happy to grant it to them. But if they can't, then we won't.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. And on the motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter goes to committee. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, June 25th, 2015, ordered that the monthly financial report dated May 31st, 2015 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. On the motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, June 25th, 2015, ordered that the Committee of the Whole meet to review the zoning of the parcel at 331, 333 Lafayette Street, and affirm that any variances allowing construction of projects not in accordance with the current B1 zoning will be opposed by the City Council as a body. Invited Mayor, City Solicitor, ZBA Chair or Designee, tenants, and abutters of 331, 333 Lafayette Street.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. The owner of this is the property that is on the commercial property that is on the corner of Lafayette and West. The one landlord owns both of those commercial properties. They're not actually one building. Not everybody might realize that they're 2 buildings. And there's another building behind that that's in the R1 zone right behind it. And then some of that property also encroaches in the R2 zone. So that's on Lafayette Street. There have been the landlord is working on a plan to redevelop that property with the idea that it be office space. I've been in contact with the attorney representing the developer this week. I've been in contact with the current commercial tenants of that building. They have some very significant concerns about the project and about basically being booted out even though they still have leases. And there are other concerns having to do with the property footprint and how it will impact on the zones immediately adjacent to it. And what we're looking at this point is to try and make sure that any project that does wind up going in there accommodate properly the neighborhood, fitting into the neighborhood, as well as the current tenants who, if they do proceed with this, the tenants of that building, the Chinese restaurant there, the nail parlor, Fran and Diane's, the Euro shop, and the convenience store will all be accommodated appropriately with this as well. So the tenants of there asked us to, as a body, if we could take a look at the situation and intervene as necessary to try and help them in their case, and I completely support doing so.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I commend the Ward 5 councilor for what he's looking to do, but I think this might be outside the scope of the city council. This is sounds more like a landlord-tenant dispute somewhere down the line. I don't know if this body has the legal capability to step into this situation. So I just want to put that out there.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Any further discussion on the motion to move this to committee? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and the City Council, June 25th, 2015. Ordered that the Committee on Government Services meet to discuss the paving plan and preservation of historic Belgian blocks, cobblestones.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this will be a discussion and a chance for a conversation with both the council, the engineering department, and local residents about how we choose to decide what streets are being paved, the grades involved, the cost involved, and also in that conversation you can bring up when we discover things such as Belgian blocks under the street, how we tie in the aesthetic design of that, the safety and traffic calming, and also the cost. And by having this conversation, it's a chance for residents to come in, interested parties in the community, whether it's our community or outside, as well as the city departments, just so people have a greater understanding and also can give us some feedback along the way.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I have no problem but sending this to Government Services. I just do want to add for the record, though, that we never discover Belgian blocks underneath our streets. They're there. We know they're there. We've always known that they're there. I would ask that we invite John Pelletier from Complete Streets to this meeting, and also a representative other than their liaison of the Disabilities Commission.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. Any further discussion? Councilor Famico.
Could I add this be co-posted?
Yes, thank you. On the motion to move this to the Committee on Government Service, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, to hopefully hold a meeting next week. All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Any late motions, orders, or resolutions? Being none. Committee reports. Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've probably heard this one already. City of Salem and City Council, June 25th, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and will recommend approval. It's a tag day for the Salem High School girls basketball, December 12th, 2015, January 16, 2016, and January 30th, 2016.
Thank you, Councilor Segal. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
No discussion.
Okay, on adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, June 25th, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of taxi operator hearing for Alexander Hernandez, has considered said matter and recommend that his license be granted.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation? A discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, on adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, June 25th, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of a taxi operator hearing for Kelvin Pena, has considered said matter and will recommend that this matter be discharged from committee. Mr. Pena has withdrawn his request for a hearing for a taxi operator license.
Thank you, Councilor Segal. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, June 25th, 2015. Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of a taxi cab limits, has considered said matters and would recommend that the matter remain in committee.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Segal.
City of Salem and the City Council, June 25th, 2015, the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of authorizing the mayor to execute a sewer easement agreement with Salem State University Assistance Corp. through the central campus from Monroe Road to Loring Ave, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
Thank you, Councilor Segal. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
This is basically just Salem State granting the city an easement for a pipe.
Thank you, Councilor Segal. On adoption of the recommendation, all those, whoops.
I'm sorry.
This one?
I need a roll
Yes, sir.
call vote.
Okay. Thank you, Councilor Segal. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Segal? Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of a sewer easement with Salem State University Assistance Corporation, let's see. 11 councilors voting. It's like 11 in the, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative. The matter carries. Thank you.
10? Say 11.
Excuse me? That was like, we only had 10? It was Salem State, so. Right, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries.
One abstain.
One abstain.
One abstention.
So 10 councilors voting. Okay, further committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, June 25th, 2015. Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matters of fines for fireworks for sale, keeping or offering for sale, and the use of firing off explosives, has considered said matter and will recommend approval.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Under discussion.
Basically, what they did was we increased the maximum fine of for the sale, keeping for sale, and offering sale of any fireworks up to a maximum of $1,000 fine, and anyone caught, I believe, using shooting off explosives, fireworks, up to a $200 fine.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Under discussion. Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to commend our Chief Butler and the Salem Police Department, as well as the mayor, for putting this in on behalf of not only folks who like to sleep, but specifically for anyone who is a dog owner or has who have any small children. This is very well received, at least by me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, also, our veterans who have PTS. I'm learning a lot about veterans, and this is a big issue for them, so
Yeah.
that's another reason.
Thank you, Councilor Milo. Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to add, if anyone would like any of the signs the police department has available, they're available in the lobby of the police station. Brought up earlier during the committee, I know we're not in charge of signs, but I am disappointed that they were in English only, especially for some of our neighborhoods. We've had some different instances in the past.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, the City Council, June 25th, 2015. The Committee on Public Health, Safety, and Environment, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of a public forum to discuss the opioid abuse crisis in Salem and throughout the Commonwealth, has considered said matter and would recommend that the matter remain in committee.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we had approximately 150 to 200 people come to the Salem High School auditorium. We also have that broadcast on Salem Access TV, which I believe is on repeat now. So you have to check your local. It is local, obviously, but we have to check the schedule onto the next time that it's going to be shown. We had a terrific turnout, lots of speakers there. There were one of the most interesting things that I saw from this and learned from this was that a lot of the experts were learning from each other things that they hadn't heard before. And so that was a really positive result of that particular forum. We had approximately 11, 12 speakers, ranging the gamut from the District Attorney's Office, and we want to commend DA John Blodgett and his team for their presentation, as well as the Salem PD. We had a representative from Gloucester, Councilor McGeary, to give an update on what's happening within Gloucester and their pilot program that they're putting forward there. We had folks from Learn to Cope, and I just want to mention to the folks at home, Learn to Cope is one of the gems, really, of support networks within the area, and they have meetings every second Thursday of the month at Salem Hospital starting at 7 o'clock. I just want to commend that to our listeners at home. I also want to mention learn2cope.org. Learn2cope.org is their website. If you or your family member have any sort of opiate addiction, whether it's from painkiller medicines that's prescribed by doctors and overprescription of those to full-on heroin abuse, this is the place to check out. This is something that, for me, on a personal level, what really affected me and drew me into this was the young man from Beverly who passed away in January, and his obituary specifically mentioned that he died as a result of opiate addiction, and it was honest and straightforward, and that's very important, I think, for our community and for the North Shore in general, to realize that this is it is an epidemic, but it's a medical condition. It's not a crime to be an addict. There are some crimes that are committed sometimes by addicts, but it is not a crime to be an addict. And so we need to destigmatize, was what I've learned from going to these programs, is we need to destigmatize that. We need to treat opiate addiction as a disease, and we need to get parity with our health insurers. So, so that we're treating heart disease, we treat cancer, we treat obesity, but we should also be treating addiction as well. So we've kept this in committee, Mr. President, because this is not something that's going away, and it's something that we can revisit at a later time. But I'm looking forward to working with folks here in Salem in trying to help promote this awareness and to make this something that everybody is concentrating their efforts on. And one last note, as I specifically want to thank our City Clerk, Cheryl LaPointe, for the yeoman's work that she did in helping to coordinate what was a phenomenal presentation with all of the logistics, all of the invitations being sent out, all of the telephone calls back. And I know actually Eileen, I'm sure, received some of those telephone calls as well, but doing all of the research off duty and going to these various meetings and so forth, I just want to commend Cheryl LaPointe for all of her hard work as well.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. On the motion that this remain in committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Communications from city officials, being none. Petitions.
We have a petition from National Grid to install one single-owned pole and relocate a single-owned pole and install conduits on Lafayette Street.
Hearing order July 16th, 2015. Further petitions.
Held from the last meeting, request from Salem Time Machine located at 131 Essex Street for a sidewalk tent during haunted happenings.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be held over to the next meeting until I can have a conversation with the building inspector, Alan Tarkowski, a whole bunch of different people. I don't in theory oppose the idea, but I just want to make sure. I mean, I know why they came to us, but I just want to make sure that it's consistent with what we want happening during that month of October before we allow this to move forward. And I haven't had a chance to have a conversation with anybody yet on it. I'll call the owner myself. I'll call the building inspector, make sure it's all vetted out before I motion to approve. So I would hold this over till the next meeting.
Thank you, Council McCarthy. On the motion to hold this over to the next meeting, Councilor Go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, while we're talking to the owner, I would like to know which business we would potentially be approving this for. Would it be the Salem Time Machine or Salem's 13th Goat, which is what the sign on that photograph says, and that sign still says that. There's no signage on anywhere on that address that I have noticed that says it's the Salem Time Machine. So which business is it? What business name is he licensed to do business under? I would be interested in those answers first.
Thank you, Councilor Go. On the motion to hold this over till next meeting, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
Request from Paranormal Salem to extend their hours of operation until 11:30 p.m. is granted in the past, with the condition of limiting the group to 16 and avoid residential areas.
Councilor Famico.
I'd like to move this to ordinance, license, and legal affairs. I know they came in the past, but when I had the packet this week, it didn't have the map route and additional information. I think that's important to review before approving again.
Thank you, Council Famico. On the motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a petition from the McIntyre District Neighborhood Coalition to introduce the council to the formation of the coalition, its members, and purpose.
Council Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this be received and filed. Mr. Kinley from Chestnut Street spoke earlier during public testimony about this matter.
Thank you, Council Famico. On the motion to move to receive this and place on file, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from the residents of English Street between Essex and Cousins to hold a block party on August 23rd, 2015, from 1 to 6 p.m. with a rain date of August 30th, 2015.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this petition be granted.
Councilor McCarthy, under discussion.
On discussion, the people from English Street that have organized this have done it, I think, the last couple of years, and I've heard no complaints, so I have no problem having them get together on the street and having a party.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. On Councilor McCarthy's motion that this be granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
Following license applications, public guides, Nikoska Brito, Colin McGarry, Beth Crowley, and Leah Cochran.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that they be granted.
Councilor Segal moves they be granted. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Being none. On the motion that these be granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 3 Tag Day license applications.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer them to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
On the motion to move these to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have drain layer contract operator licenses.
Councilor Segal.
Move that they be granted.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Being none. On the motion that these be granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 3 claims.
Councilor Segal.
Move they refer to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
On the motion to move these claims to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have 4 drain layer bonds.
Councilor Segal.
Move that they refer to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs and returned approved.
Thank you, Councilor Segal. On Councilor Segal's motion to move these to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of a bond order for the sum of $14,145,000 for capital equipment items and improvement projects for fiscal year 2016 CIP water sewer.
Councilor Toriel. Whoop, Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to recuse myself.
Thank you. So be done. Councilor Toriel.
Thank you. I move for adoption for second and final passage by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Thank you. On Councilor Toriel's motion for adoption by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Segal? Yes. Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of a bond order, second passage in the sum of $14,145,000. 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 recused. The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of a bond order for the sum of $4,408,715 for capital equipment items and improvement projects for fiscal year 2016 CIP General Fund.
Councilor Toriel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for second and final passage by roll call vote.
On the motion for adoption, under discussion?
No discussion.
Thank you. On Councilor Toriel's motion for adoption, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Segal?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of a bond order, second passage for the sum of $4,408,715. 11 councilors present, 10 voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 recused. The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 36, Section 36-6, solid waste collection fee.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Being none. On Councilor Seagull's motion for approval for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 46, Section 66, rates for use of water.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for adoption for second and final passage.
On Councilor Seagull's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor O'Keefe.
Wish recorded opposed.
Councilor O'Keefe wishes to be recorded opposed. Thank you. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 46, Section 230, sewer use charges.
Councilor Seagull.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for adoption for second and final passage.
On Councilor Seagull's motion for adoption for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further unfinished business. Councilor O'Keefe.
I wish recorded opposed.
Councilor O'Keefe wishes to be recorded opposed. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 10, Section 10-24, boat slip fees.
Councilor Seagull.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for adoption for second and final passage.
Councilor Seagull moves for adoption for second and final passage. All those in favor? All those opposed? Councilor O'Keefe? All those in favor? Okay. All those opposed? The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time on Barstow Street.
Councilor Giroux.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for adoption for second and final passage.
A motion for adoption for second and final passage. Under discussion.
No discussion.
Being none. All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Senior Councilor O'Keefe.
Move for adjournment of the City Council.
Councilor O'Keefe moves for adjournment. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.